Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section, and let me know what you think about the video in the comments, alright? With that said, let's get into the video.
Alright guys, get ready to lose some brain cells with this clip. Roll it.
Jason Aldean is getting backlash for the video of his song, Not in a Small Town. Listen, you know, there are lyrics in the song, and I think, you know, he talks about life in a small town, and it's different, you know, and he shows these images. He's got folks from the Black Lives Matter movement, and he's talking about people taking care of each other. And I find it so interesting that it never occurred to Jason or the writers that that's what these folks were doing.
Did she really just say that the people who were destroying towns, literally looting, stealing, committing crimes on camera, that they were just taking care of each other?
This man is from Macon, Georgia. My father's from Augusta, Georgia, and Macon, Georgia. I spent many summers there. Yeah, both. I spent many summers there. It is one of the most racist places in this country.
Wow, so if you are from Macon, Georgia, I have some news for you. According to Sunny Hostin, you are racist.
And unfortunately, this became the #1 song on US iTunes.
It sure is #1, and guess who contributed to that number? This guy. I went on iTunes, I bought the song, and I gave it 5 stars. Just to piss you off, Sonny.
We have a problem in this country about race, and the biggest problem is we refuse to admit that it exists.
You refuse to stop talking about it. And the problem is race baiters like yourself who live off of the idea and the narrative that everything is racist. Even a song that had nothing to do with black people specifically. But you made it about black people. Once again, liberal exposing yourself. Stay mad, boo. Yeehaw.
Listen, Whoopi, Sonny, let me tell you guys something real quick. I got a few clips for you guys today, and a video from Candace Owens. But before we go into that, Whoopi and Sonny, you see, that's what I don't understand with people like these type of people. Whoopi is pretty much a celebrity. She did many movies. You see, the reason why they say that they condone this type of behavior because they get paid to do what they do. And what I mean by that is that they're not coming to help you out with all that's going on. When all the smashing, the grabbing, the looting, you destroying your community, it's not hurting them. You see what I'm saying? But they call guys like me out, Officer Tatum, Larry Elliott, they call us what? Sellouts. Because we looking out for our community. It's pretty much what Jason is doing. But it's okay for you to go there, smash, grab, destroy the town, get mad, stand up on top of the cars, stomp on top of car roofs. That's looking out for you. How is that looking out for your people? Like we need to know. You see what kind of nonsense they condone? You could tell they're from the left. There's no way you could say that's looking out for your community. That's like the ex-cop, which was black, older guy. I think he was like in his mid-70s. He was doing security. With that same protest that was going on, he was defending us. He was securing the store, and he got killed. He always, everybody that speak about him, always nice guy, always looking out for his community. Lost his life during the whole George Floyd riots that was going on. Is that looking out for your community? Or what that man was doing, looking out for his community? He was protecting. And yes, he was a black man. You see, they don't care. They're at the top. Because they're never going to come down here and be with us regular people. They're going to go to the regular, everyday people struggle. They're rich. Whoopi Goldberg is worth how much millions? How can you relate when you're that high of a stature and how much money you make? That's why they don't care. Destroy your town. They don't see nothing when it's violence, black on black violence. They say, Whoopi, where you at talking about all this gang violence? Where you at? Did you address the gang bust that happened in New York City? Where 40 young black men was arrested for terrorizing their own community? Grandma and grandparents scared to go outside? Huh? I thought so.
You small town good old boys who were raised right wouldn't have loved the song as much. Wouldn't you agree? So what did he do in order to get someone like you to love the song and buy the song and pander to you for him to make money? Oh, and to rile you up. He chose to highlight footage from Black Lives Matter protests. Are you following me now? Protests that didn't happen because a bunch of delusional people were upset that an orange orangutan lost an election. A bunch of sore losers, you know? Instead, he chose footage from people who are angry over injustice. Innocent people getting killed at the hands of police. Businesses can recover. There's insurance for that. But you can't bring people back from the dead. And when you're more angry over property lost versus lives lost, guess that's those small town values I want nothing to do with. So I hope you and people that think like you get it now. Because next time I won't be this nice. Okay? Bye.
That's the definition of delusion. Let me break it down for you, sister, since I'm a black man. You said those buildings is covered with insurance. Some of those buildings were black people businesses that got destroyed, got burned down, got looted. They put their life into making that family owned. You know what it's like to put your life into something and watch it crumble before your eyes? Do you? I don't think so. Because y'all don't care. That's what your white liberals do. You act like you care about black people, but you don't. Where are you? Where are you guys at when all this drive-by shooting happen? Little kids playing outside get shot. Where are y'all for all of that? Where was y'all when the little girl was in the living room playing with her crayons and a stray bullet entered the house and took her life? Where y'all at? Nowhere to be found, huh? Oh, matter of fact, I got a better one. Where were y'all at when the father and his daughter, and the daughter was in the back seat, and the father was involved in gang activities, and they didn't wait. They swam at McDonald's with his daughter. They didn't know his daughter wasn't there. All they did was swim at McDonald's, shut the whole car up. And guess who died? The little girl that was in the back, happy to get some McDonald's. Where was the protest at for that? Injustice? How much police injustice happens on black and white? Compare to black on black violence, drive-by shootings, gang warfare. That's what they're trying to do. They blow up the one little thing into the biggest thing, overshadowing the other things that should be covered, like all this gang violence. Where y'all at with the pickers and all that stuff saying stop the gang violence? Little kids are scared to go to school in certain areas because they're scared. People shooting recklessly. They don't care. We need y'all out there. We need y'all out there protesting these gang violence. Where's that energy? This is what I'm talking about. I'm tired of white liberals trying to talk for black people. Shh. Because you don't live in those areas where the gang violence is off the charts. You notice that? That's what I noticed. If I go into the next clip, you know what I noticed? I noticed a lot of these celebrities, a lot of these white liberals, or even black celebrities, you know this one down on this, they don't ever live in those type of areas. They live as far away as possible. And I wonder why.
So guys, since everyone's been calling that new Jason Aldean song racist, I decided to do some investigating of my own, and I listened to the song, and the entire song is actually about criminals. It's about people who carjack grandmas, people who disrespect the police, people who disrespect the military, the flag, all of these things, and at no point does he actually ever mention black people. At no point does he actually ever mention race. And so it made me ask the question, are these people assuming he's talking about black people? And if they're assuming he's talking about black people when the entire song is about criminals, doesn't that make them the racist? Isn't that how that actually works?
I think that's exactly how it works. It's funny how they always try to tell us what is what, but they're so quiet when we do the most horrific things to each other. I lost a few of my friends, and they lived in white neighborhoods, but it was a few, little mix. Lost his life. Out of all those white people, he lost his life from another black man that was jealous of what he had. That's the self-hate I'm talking about. So stop, man. Stop. Because Jason Aldean is telling the truth. These type of behaviors cannot be condoned. It has to stop. Point blank, period. And they're only condoning it because they're probably living in a nice gated community. Until they reach at their front steps, they want to act like they care. When it really hit their front step, they will see what it feels like. You see what California is turning into, right? Slowly but surely, watch what becomes of California.
Not a secret that approximately 3 years ago, my husband and I packed up from Washington, D.C. and moved to Nashville, Tennessee. We didn't know anybody at all. We had no friends. We had no family nearby. And one of the first people that reached out to me and offered me a hand of friendship and introduced me to a ton of locals was Brittany Aldean. Brittany Aldean and her husband, Jason Aldean, with Welcome Arms. I went to a party that they were hosting, and I met pretty much everybody because they are very well loved and respected in this town. They're very involved in charity. If you follow them on Instagram, you already know this. So you have to imagine my surprise, now that I've been friends with them for almost 3 years, when I learned on the internet from white liberals that no. This friendship, that's not why they extended it because they wanted to be friends with me, but rather because they wanted to lynch me. Yeah. Now, usually when I see the word lynching being circulated around by white people, I almost always know that it's a hoax because people don't just get up and lynch people nowadays. We don't live in the 1930s, but of course we have people that want Black people to believe this so that we instantly do whatever they want us to do, that we instantly attack, whether it's a person or an institution. As long as they dangle the word lynching, we're all supposed to be immediately outraged. That's how it usually works. But I thought I better explore this one. Maybe there's something to it. First came a set of tweets from individuals that I've never heard of. First and foremost, Shannon Watts. She tweeted, "Proud to have had a hand in getting CMT to reject this racist and violent song." And then she shows a headline, "CMT pulls Jason's controversial Try That in a Small Town video." And I'm realizing, oh my God, he released some music and he released a video. And obviously it must be racist and violent because Shannon Watts, a white liberal, says that it is. We carry on. Chris Willman, he's a writer for Variety, a senior music writer for Variety. He wrote, "I keep wondering where the disconnect exists in a mind like Jason Aldean's. Like, he says he was celebrating homespun virtue. He really doesn't get that. To the rest of the world, it sounds completely menacing." Obviously, what must be in this video must be extremely scary. And that
It's very scary, guys. I want to be careful when you watch that video. It might be age strict. There's a lot of violence in that. But where all these so-called care-loving people for all these Black Americans at? Have they ever watched a rap video in 2023? The guns are flashing, drive-bys in the video, talking about doing the most horrific things to another Black man. What did Jason Aldean really? Did we hear something different when we put our headphones on and we listened to the song? I think we heard something different from what they heard. They must have heard the rated version. We must have gotten the edited versions. I don't understand. This should be an outrage that rappers are making these horrific songs about doing the most horrific things to one another. Don't you guys agree with that?
And a no-name Sheryl Crow, another liberal, leaned in and said, "At Jason Aldean, I'm from a small town. Even people in small towns are sick of violence. There's nothing small town or American about promoting violence. You should know that better than anyone, having survived a mass shooting. This is not American or small town-like. It's just lame." Wow, I didn't know Sheryl Crow was concerned with lyrics of music. We'll get to that later because obviously what he put out must have been so bad and so violent and so racist that white people have to remind Black people to be angry and upset about it. Didn't see any Black people upset about it at all. But now that we know that we have to, let's dive into why.
We gotta get angry
so
right now.
I first consulted the lyrics of this controversial song, and here are just the first opening lines. It starts with, "Sucker punch somebody on a sidewalk, carjack an old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think that's cool? Well, act a fool if you like. Cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough? Well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here, we take care of our own." Oh, okay, so he's saying that you shouldn't carjack an old lady, you shouldn't be spitting on the American flag. And that's where I knew that that was going to become controversial, because the thing about liberals is you have to hate the flag, and it's a good thing to burn the flag and to spit on the flag and to insult veterans. So I'm starting to understand what exactly it is that Jason Aldean did. It's more of what he didn't do. He forgot that he's supposed to hate America. Then I decided to take a look at his controversial video that CMT is now pulling, right? Which is super interesting because of the videos that we know are allowed to stay on virtually every music network that exists. And here's a clip of it. Take a watch. Ah, now you get it. That looked like an Antifa riot to me.
I didn't see a black person. I saw a white woman in the cop face. Guess that's racist too. I don't understand.
He's standing in front of an American flag, singing somewhere, and he's showing clips of what looks to be like white people that are dressed in all black and throwing things and burning the American flag. Yeah, your typical liberal Los Angeles, New York City riots that Antifa typically sponsors and the left says is fine, we're going to bail them out of jail. That is what Jason Aldean has gotten wrong. And of course, these sorts of riots don't take place in small towns because people still have values, people still respect the police, people still respect one another. And that is exactly what Jason is saying. Jason is from a small town. It's the reason why he doesn't want to live in one of these cities. It's the reason why he's not living in the middle of a Hollywood mansion, because he knows that those values don't match his own the way that he grew up. So obviously, this is why they are upset about it, but it is glorious the way in which they try to problematize this video, which if you are a sensible person, you would say, of course, riots are wrong. Of course, attacking random people like an old lady or a police officer because you're upset about something is completely wrong. But these aren't normal people that we're dealing with. So instead, that person that I just read for you his tweet, Chris Willman, the senior music writer and chief music critic at Variety, attempted an article to problematize the music videos in ways that obviously nobody could have possibly seen, right? I'm just going to read you some clips from a couple of lines from this article. First off, the title is, Jason Aldean already had the most contemptible country music song of the decade. The video is worse. Aldean's Try That in a Small Town is close to being the most cynical song ever written about the implicit moral superiority of having a limited number of neighbors, which is saying something, given how many attempts to write the Great American Small Town Anthem are generated in a single year. It's just you could just feel the ick falling off of this writer. He hates people that live in small towns, and he thinks that we are morally inferior. That's the implication of a sentence like that. But then here's really where they do the call out to Black America of why we need to be the ones that are rioting against this music video. He says, the setting outside the Maury County Courthouse in Columbia, Tennessee, has proven upsetting for some. For who, Chris? Because it ain't for Black people, and you know it. We're just your human shields as you attack Jason because you don't like the fact that he doesn't support transing the children. It's why it's upsetting for some, as he says. It's where in 1927, a white lynch mob dragged a young man named Henry Choate through the streets behind a car before finally hanging him from a second-story courthouse window. Oh, okay, we got it, guys. This is why Black people should care. So the writer did his due diligence and said, how can we make Black people care about this song? I'm going to research anything in the song and figure out how it can be racist. Is it a courthouse in Columbia, Tennessee? Oh, okay, what can I find? Okay, I'm gonna go back to 1927 and tell you what happened at this courthouse, which is the reason that nobody should feature it. Fun fact, right? First and foremost, Columbia is a incredibly small town, which is just a few miles down the road from Jason's house.
That 96 years ago?
There. Doesn't like to travel too far away from his family. Columbia, Tennessee is where I frequent. It's where my assistant Savannah is from. It's a wonderful little town. People that have great principles and morals who have welcomed me with warm arms since I moved down here to the South. I love Columbia, Tennessee. It's where I get all my plants for gardening. So there's no conspiracy theory here. He shot it because it was local to where he lives. And guess what? He's not the only person that has shot something in front of that courthouse. And yet this Variety reporter must have missed it. Yeah, no, Hannah Montana, the movie. Yeah, that was shot in front of this Columbia courthouse in a certain scene. Take a look.
Travis, please let me explain.
Explain what? Are you making fun of me? Laughing at me? Lying to me this whole time?
Oh my God. Hannah Montana, the movie, was actually a promotion of lynching Black people. said nobody ever. Nobody cared because they weren't upset with Miley Cyrus because Miley Cyrus leans left. Jason Aldean responded to this madness, because it's obviously madness, by writing this. He wrote, "In the past 24 hours, I have been accused of releasing a pro-lynching song, a song that has been out since May, and was subject to the comparison that I, direct quote, was not too pleased with the nationwide BLM protests. These references are not only meritless, but dangerous. There is not a single lyric in this song that references race or points to it, and there isn't a single video clip that isn't real news footage. And while I can try and respect others to have their own interpretation of a song with music, this one goes too far. As so many have pointed out, I was present at Route 91, where so many lost their lives. That's the Las Vegas shooting. And our community recently suffered another heartbreaking tragedy." He's referring to the Nashville shooting, which took place at Covenant. "No one, including me, wants to continue to see these senseless headlines or families ripped apart. Try that in a small town for me refers to the feeling of a community that I had growing up, where we took care of our neighbors regardless of differences of background or belief, because they were our neighbors, and that was above any differences. My political views have never been something I've hidden from, and I know that a lot of us in this country don't agree on how we get back to a sense of normalcy where we go at least a day without a headline that keeps us up at night. The desire for it, that's what this song is about." Yes, Jason, and that is exactly why they are attacking you, because you are talking about normalcy. And we now live in a society where they want to normalize the abnormal. They want to normalize people looting and rioting and attacking police officers and spitting in their faces and putting it onto TikTok. So yes, that is the reason that you are being attacked. You are a little too normal.
Everything Kendel said is pretty much what every normal person is thinking right now. Like, how could you take a song like that, and from what he said, the song has been out since May, all because he took some clips from the news channels and put it into the video? What he's just trying to say, we should be looking out for one another instead of hurting each other. We should be caring for one another, not turning the blind eye. They're trying to normalize crime, and the victims are the suspects now. You guys realizing that, right? They want to normalize everything that's wrong. Everything that's right is not being normalized. So Jason Aldean is saying we should be looking out for one another. You see that old lady getting mugged? Intervene, do something. People sucker punch. That's what I'm saying. There's no respect. People just don't care anymore. Because in order to do something, they're back out the same day or the next day. There's no punishment for crimes anymore unless it's murder. Unless it's, certain type of crimes. Otherwise than that, it's swept under the rug. And that's what Jason Aldean is. He just wants America to go back to normalcy, but people that did crime got punished for crimes. You shouldn't be normalizing carjacking. You shouldn't be normalizing looting, robbing, stealing, sucker punching elders. That should not be normalized. That's wrong. Back then, you couldn't do that. Back then, we had the utmost respect for an elder. When we used to be drinking on the corner and the elder walked past, we would hide the drinks. That's how much respect we had, even if there was a stranger. That's just the way it was. But now it's not like that. And that's what Jason Aldean is saying. It's normalcy. But the left don't want normalcy. So see that they take one little area there. Oh, it's the racist thing ever. Don't get us involved. Don't tell us what's racist and what is not. We will decide that. Give you guys take in the video. And remember, if you enjoy the video, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the video. And until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out. You guys have a blessed day.